own show prep. So, so he had no idea.
I just barely make it in.
I'm sure you can tell, but we don't show.
I mean, let's put the cards down on the table here.
Illustrious. Styles.
Miami Hurricanes, yeah. You know the name already. It's Mercy, ha ha. It's a 6-Rig Kane show. Can't forget the name though. Got Jazz, Blue, Vision, DJ, break the game code. Ain't no changing them, ain't no breaking them. Real Portland live from the Hard Rock Stadium. Ball 14 for the orange and green. We see the 6-Rig champs. It's more than a dream. This is life on the field. Beyond 100 yards, a hurricane that's never still put a damage to your squad. The 6-Rig Kane show. The 6-Rig Kane show. The 6 Rings Kane show. You know.
What's wrong with us? Seriously.
What's wrong with us? We're Miami Hurricanes fans.
Welcome to the 6 Rings Kane Show, a show dedicated to Miami Hurricane sports, featuring the legendary Larry Bluestein, Jazz Santana, Vish, and Danny Gillette. Let's go Canes.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the 6 Rings Kane Show, joined by Dan Gillette, Larry Bluestein. How's it going, guys?
Good. Doing good.
Yeah.
Final countdown.
Yeah. Jazz Santana is inbound, and as you said, Blue, we are 27 days away from Notre Dame, which we now know is a top 10 matchup. As the coaches poll came out, Notre Dame's ranked 5th, the Canes 10th, so that is a top 10 matchup at Hard Rock to open the season up. So before we get into that, get into some recruiting stuff, and practice kicked off last week, and today we are previewing running backs, wide receivers, and of course DJ tight ends. Before we get into that, let's talk sponsors. They pay the bills. And our sponsor is You Brake Will Fix. You ever run over a pothole and it causes your tire to shake? Are you losing air in your tires? You could have an issue with your wheels, and if you do, You Brake Will Fix is your solution. You Brake Will Fix is Miami's premier wheel repair and restoration company. They have over 20 years of experience and are located really conveniently in North Miami. They offer quick repairs on your damages, and if they can't fix it in a day and get you back on the road that day, they do offer free loaners. As everyone knows, you need a car to get around Miami. If they're looking weathered too, maybe your wheels are functioning fine, but they don't look great. You Brake Will Fix can help you with that. They'll refinish it and make it look brand new. They do in-house powder coating, machining, and polishing. Some of these places, they send your stuff off-site. Not You Brake Will Fix. They do it all in-house. So contact Mark and his staff at 305-748-0112 and follow them on all socials at You Brake Will Fix. And if you mention 5 reasons, you will get 5.5% off your next repair. That's You Brake Will Fix powder coating and wheel repair. 305-748-0112. And they're located at 1848 Northeast 143rd Street in North Miami, Florida. That's You Brake Will Fix, and mention 5 reasons to get 5.5% off your next repair. All right, guys, as we said, 27 days. Seems like that's just around the corner here until the Canes and Fighting Irish kick off at Hard Rock. But before we kind of get into the current team, I'm going to look a little bit at recruiting. Blue, I know you're always looking at kids. Who caught your attention last week? What have you been up to for the last week, and what caught your attention?
Well, we continued to do our media day tour last week. As I told you, we had an opportunity to go up to Orlando and see Darian Coleman, and had a little chat with him, and also had a chat with the kid Reese Woodrow, who's the offensive lineman out of Orlando Boone. This week we had an opportunity to head upstate and check in a little bit on St. Augustine. Saw Samari and Wingo. Good kid and good looking kid. Very intelligent young man. Sat down and talked to him as he prepares for his senior year at St. Augustine High School. For those of you not knowing, it's just south of Jacksonville. So, yep, got an opportunity, and then head down south on Saturday for the first of 2 weeks. They have 2 weeks of Miami-Dade, Broward, Palm Beach. The Dolphins will be hosting theirs this Saturday, which unfortunately I won't be there, but I'll be thinking of them. But last week I spent 8 hours and watched, got a chance to see a couple of University of Miami commitments. Javion Mallory from West Boca Raton, looking pretty good, about 6 foot, 200 pounds. He's, if you remember, he didn't play in the state championship game last year, but he's healthy and ready to go. So got an opportunity to speak with him just a little bit. Saw a few other players, hopefully 2027 player that Miami Northwestern. Oh, by the way, a little breaking news. Teddy Bridgewater's will sign with Detroit. So his tenure is over.
I saw that, yeah.
He was suspended, so
well,
yeah,
that's
choice,
sad that you suspend the kid for helping out.
Yeah, no, it was an unjust suspension, but he was suspended.
Yeah,
it's good to be good enough at your profession that you're essentially doing charity work, get suspended from it. All right, I'll just go play the NFL instead.
Right.
Yeah, honestly, that's quite the accomplishment, if anything.
Yeah, that is someone that is quite accomplished. Yes.
Yeah, so I had an opportunity to talk a little bit with Nick Lanier, who is a 2027 receiver out of Miami Northwestern, who I think has to be one of the best in the country. And Miami, obviously, in the mix for him. A really good football talent. Also, Kenton Dobson from Miami. Norland was on hand. New coach over at Norland, but same philosophy. And then just a little bit of side note, I had an opportunity, probably everybody did, but to watch the number one player in the country for 2026, somebody who will be on campus here at the University of Miami next year at this time. An offensive lineman that everybody has been talking about by the name of Jackson Cantwell, who put up 225 pounds 40 times.
I saw the video, and it was absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible.
He didn't look like he was tired until like the 28, 29s. And
I mean, those are NFL level reps.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the real deal. And so he's ready for his final year. That's the best thing about this really good 26 class, that they are all now in the next week. The kickoff classics start, and then the week after that, we started for real. So each week we could give you a little bit of a look at how the University of Miami future players are doing. And, so there's a little bit of recruiting right there. I know that
Jazz is logging in right now, so we're going to talk a little bit practice because he attended Sunday's practice. But before we switch topics, so you obviously mentioned Teddy Bridgewater's, suspended, now he's going to the Lions. What is the future there of that coaching position? Because as you said, he had kind of elevated, like he kind of restored the pride of that program. They started winning again last year, and now it's just
well, as a face, he did. But their offensive coordinator, defensive coordinators, all their position coaches will be there.
Okay.
And nobody left, so they're going to maul people again. They open up next Saturday, which will be it's a kickoff classic, but it should have been a regular season game. It's Lakeland, who is defending state runner-up and a two-time state champion before that against Northwestern in Vero Beach. So it should be interesting, and that'll be the first week. And then the second week, we'll get a chance to see a lot of these teams. The Matter Day comes to town, so we'll get a chance to see the number one team in the country. St. Joe's of Pennsylvania, who's the number 14 team in the country, will be down. The number 8 team in the country, Baltimore St. Francis Academy, who's loaded with talent. Miami's pursuing a couple of their underclassmen as we speak. They'll all be down. And then in-state teams, and Corner Canyon of Utah, which has produced some pretty good quarterbacks. I believe Jackson Dart came from that area. So, it's going to be a really good kickoff. And then every week we're going to have some really good games and a lot of kids that the University of Miami is going to be pursuing. And it's funny there, Vish, because I got to moderate, the 28 teams that came in. And I usually ask the kids a couple of football questions, then like an offbeat question, like, Nike or Adidas, Jordan, LeBron, vanilla or chocolate, KFC or Popeyes, things like that. So I asked them who their favorite player, and I came to young Mr. Fitzpatrick, and I said, if you have another name other than your brother, I'll be disappointed. So he, it was fun. It's always fun to interact with the kids at a setting like that. We did that in Orlando, but I got a chance to moderate this one, which I like because I see the kids all the time, and I know, in other areas you get people that moderate them and never seen the kids, and they ask that standard, hey, what do you think about this year? That my wife could have asked that question. So, but so that part's over this week.
So some exciting times ahead in recruiting, and like you said, that gets started. That season gets started before college does. So
2 weeks. Like when Miami's playing their first game, the high school season will be 2 weeks old.
So stay tuned for weekly updates from Blue on kind of what's going on, kids that Miami's interested, commits. But of course, I feel officially pivoted to in-season content now, and with that, bringing Jazz in as we talk about practice kicked off this week, and
hey, buddy.
And I know Mr. Santana here attended one of them, was able to.
There he is.
Yes.
Thanks for your support last week.
Yeah, man. Of course. I mean, look, I feel about 10 pounds lighter, and maybe 10 years younger for the first time in 12 years.
No beard.
I shaved my beard, as you can see. I mean, almost
in your head too, or what?
Oh, yeah, no way.
Can we switch the boxes so I'm where Jazz is and Jazz is where I am? It doesn't feel right.
I feel like every week you demand me to put you in a different spot, and I don't know where he belongs. I feel like
it
doesn't feel right. I don't know.
I think DJ's where I'm usually at.
We've done this move. I don't honestly.
The Brady bunch.
Let's get nuts here.
Now feels real. No, what are you doing?
No, I can't do that. I can't do that.
Oh man. Oh, see, it feels good to be back in. I apologize for the delay there, but I as it usually happens, you pass on your sickness to everybody in the house, and so now Sheena's sick here, and it's it is what it is, man. So trying to get. I know it's a bug going around, so hopefully everybody stays healthy, man. But yeah, by the way, you're super blurry right now, Vish.
Yeah, this happened backstage too before the show started. It's self-corrected and now it's gone. I'll keep messing with it. Go ahead.
It happens. Yeah. There was some times where I was out checking out the scenery out there in Coral Gables. I know, Blue, you've been to a couple practices as well. It was interesting. Look, listen, it was there's certain things that obviously are really exciting to see, but at the same time, we just started fall practice, right? We just started basically camp, and so there's going to be a lot of shakeups. There's going to be a lot of people saying, "Well, this guy did awesome, and this guy did terrible, and this guy looked great, and this guy looked bad," and it's the fifth string tight end, and you're getting excited. And I like what
I can't help it, man. I can't help it.
Nothing wrong with getting excited about the fifth string tight end, man.
This is
I don't know why you're taking shots at DJ.
This is true. But I had some conversations with a few people outside of practice, and the truth is, and I know you all kind of agree with this also. Let's wait until week 2 or week 3 of fall camp after the pads really get on, right? Like they were in shells and they were not wearing pads and weren't hitting yet. So let's wait to see when they start popping each other a little bit. Let's see when they start implementing the game plan for Notre Dame, which they'll typically do. I'm assuming since we got about 3.5 weeks to go, they probably will implement it about a week before, the game. So let's wait and see who starts to really pop out at at people and during practice, and you'll see the usual suspects, of course, guys like, of course, Carson Beck. We all know is QB1, and we know that the Mark Fletcher and Jordan Lyle and Shamar Brown. Those are kind of your guys that'll be there. I don't know about that Kellen Wiley guy. No, I love. Is this Ken? Are you his old man? It's like is this Ken? This is awesome, man. Yeah, honestly,
Alrighties look pretty damn good.
Yeah, we're gonna talk.
Speaking of Wiley, yeah, I mean the kid looks like a junior or a senior already at linebacker, right? Like he's that, but he's ready to go. It looks like he looks the part already. And to be quite honest with you, we're looking forward to big things from that whole linebacker staff. But I thought it was really exciting to see what I did see at linebacker as far as who was kind of leading the pack at middle linebacker, who was leading the pack at certain other positions. And I think that the linebacker position, I think, is going to be one of those surprise positions where everybody's going to take a step back and go, whoa, these guys are thumpers. These guys can go out and cover and cover, out in space. It's a talented position. I love it, man. I love it. Thank you for coming on, Mr. Wiley. I appreciate it. It's fun to watch. It's been fun to watch practice. Honestly, I think that you want to keep your eye on the wide receiver position battle. There is 5 or 6 guys that can really that could be starting, and I say that. And I say that with kind of laughing a little bit because we're all hanging our hat on guys like JoJo and CJ Daniels, right?
We're going to talk receiver rotation. This is clairvoyant because that is the next topic.
I don't want to get into it right until we discuss it now, but yeah, I think it's gonna be fun to watch those boys play and the tight end position, as you mentioned. I know we're going to talk about also. So I'll kind of break it down a little bit what I've seen. Blue, I'm sure you've seen a little bit also. But yeah, if that line does what it's supposed to do, I don't know if this offense is going to take as much of a step back as people think it is. We got some talent out there. We got some really good talent at wide receiver. So it's fun to watch. As Mr. Wiley says there, they are deep. They are deep. They really are. So it's fun to watch. But
I did hear that Ray has turned up the heat quite a bit, and they like him. And right now, he would be the starting slot.
I heard that also. There's certain things that you don't see in practice, and certain things you do. So I'm hoping that I might have missed. I'm not saying he didn't do it. I might have missed that. Where he was kind of doing his thing. So if that's the case, that's great. I'm really excited to see what he does. I think that he's got. I mean, look, Blue. The key was his, right? Like it's handed down.
This is his year right here.
Right. This is his year, right? So he's got to make sure he proves it and comes out and balls out. If not, Malachi Tony, trust me. Have you seen that meme where the guy's in the background going like that, and that's Malachi Tony right now, just waiting to chomp at the bit because the kid is the real deal. So, Vish, I don't want to get into too far deep into that just yet, but yeah, practice has been fun. It's been interesting to see certain things. There's a lot of stuff that obviously we can't speak about, and for out of respect for our program and for what Coach Cristobal is doing.
Well, Jazz also attended a closed practice, so he's got to be a little bit more careful than the. Yeah. So they open it and they let you record. That's different, but the Jazz.
I appreciate the hospitality, and I want to keep it.
Jazz is privileged. They let him into a closed practice, so
I'm in hospitality, man. So I appreciate discretion. I appreciate it when asked for, and so I appreciate it. Thank you, and I wanted to say that way. But it's exciting to watch. It really was exciting to watch. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of things to really build off of. Definitely.
Yeah, I think the thing that because we talked after, like when you're on your way back from practice on Sunday, and to me, obviously, like the story coming into practice with the quarterback because no one had seen him throw a pass since his arm got ripped off by Texas. So in the bowl game, in the SEC championship game, playing for another program. So
Right.
him being healthy, he looked fine. No ill effect. Obviously, like he was cleared right after spring practice. So everyone kind of knew he was healthy, but just to have that confirmed, no ill effects, like he looked fine. And, said he felt great. But then also, I know you said Emory Williams looked sharp too, which is, I think you can only control health so much. So even with Carson Beck seemingly 100%, you're one play away from Emory being the quarterback. So I know you were encouraged by what you saw from him.
Yeah, I know we always talk about how Emory is kind of like a practice superstar, and we've yet to see it get put all together in a game. But it's for me, it's more about confidence to know that there's someone that's competent behind Carson Beck. And I'm not saying that Luke Nickel looks sharp. Believe it or not, even Judd Anderson looks sharp, right? Like, I think the quarterback position right now is healthy. I think having Emory there for this is his third or fourth year now at this point. You've got a really good. I feel confident enough that he can come in and be a little bit better than he was against Iowa State. I think that's it is what it is. But and I know a lot of people are going to trash talk. We won't do that. I'm not going to trash talk about a player. I know he knows, right? He stunk it up in Iowa State. It's no secret. It's not a bashing. It is what it is. It looks like he's gotten bigger, stronger, and he's throwing the ball around really well. He looked good. What else are you going to say? You can't say he looked good, but no, you can only go by what you see. He looked good. Let's hope it stays that way, and God forbid anything happens to our frontline guy. At least you've got a veteran that can come in and knows the playbook and understands what has to be done, and that's all you can really ask for in a backup. I don't know. There's not a lot of times where you go into the season thinking your backup is going to come in and win the Heisman. So I think that at this point you want someone that's competent, that knows the playbook, understands what needs to get done, and and fights through maybe some challenges that he might have or some deficiencies that he might have. And Coach Dawson does what he does on what he needs to do on his end to make sure that he's successful as well. That's all you can really hope for, and I think that we've got that in Emory Williams, to be honest with you.
And I think one of the things,
actually, trash talking aside.
My bad, Jazz. But I think one of the things that you touched on that caught my ear here was the linebacker depth. Because I remember back when we started the show. Granted, it was 5 years ago now, but linebacker was a position where there wasn't a ton of depth and there wasn't a ton of development. Now, I was just looking at the roster today, and we're too deep at linebacker in some cases. So I think that's a position that I'm definitely watching over the course of the next couple of weeks.
Hey, I'll tell you what, Blue. I know you've seen these guys up close also, but Darius Hayes looks the part. He looks like he's gotten some muscle on him. He's a big kid, man. He's 6'3", 6'4", all of it. He's a big dude, long arms. It looks like he's put on some weight. He looks good. Chase Smith, if he's healthy, he might give West a run for his money in the middle linebacker. Or
I agree, Chase. Yeah.
You better watch out for Chase Smith. If he's healthy, he's going to be a go. Kellen Wiley, Cam Pruitt. Some of the Cam Pruitt's put on some muscle. Kellen Wiley looks like a big linebacker already. Some of the other guys, obviously, that I didn't mention, what's this kid's name? Jeez Louise. Obviously, I mentioned Popo. It's a lot of guys. Whatever. Anyways, the point is, yeah, the linebacker.
Mohamed Toure. How does Mohamed Toure?
Oh yeah, there you go. How about that guy? Right?
There you go.
Will he start? Yeah, he looks strong. He looks healthy. His knee is it looks good. It looks good. He was running around. He was out there, practicing. He wasn't on the sidelines working out, so which is nice to see. I think that Toure.
Yeah, he looks jacked. He
is jacked. He is jacked. You just want to see him put it all together on the field, right? After 2 ACLs and all that, I think that we're just hesitant to say too much and be like, this guy's going to be an All-American or an ACC All-American guy, which he has the potential to be. But it's 2 ACLs is 2 ACLs, right? So we want to make sure that he's out there, he's healthy. And he's thumping people. Once he's doing that, then I think you'll feel comfortable. Kamal Bonner's another guy. same thing. You know, he was on the precipice of being a starter and getting even more significant playing time over at NC State. I think he's going to have that opportunity here. I think he'll be all right too. It's deep. I'm talking. I mean,
and you didn't mention Jalen Alderman flashed some last year. If we might get more.
Yeah,
more playing time.
Who played
a lot last year.
You know, you see Pruitt was covering tight ends and then wide receivers. I mean, look, he's still thin, but he's put on some muscle also. So he's kind of like that. What was this kid's name? Jesus, I can't remember his name now. Number 30 for us a couple years back that played that striker position. Great, he played her awesome. Oh my God, Vish, you're good with names. Come on. He had like the wavy hair, also like the crinkly Samoan type hair. Oh man, what's his name? Number 30. He was a striker. Oh Jesus, that he. I know it was a battle recruiting wise for him. It was between us and LSU, and we beat LSU for him. And he came here, and he was
not Moss.
No, he was an in-betweener. He was in between playing safety and linebacker, and we put him at striker, and that was it. He was great there. If anybody in the chat can remember, he was number 30. Romeo
Finley.
Romeo Finley, that was his name.
Well, we don't go off script, off the show notes, man, because then it's just free for all.
My goodness. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Romeo Finley. Maybe a little bit bigger than him.
Romeo's from Florida, the Panhandle, yeah.
Yeah, that's what he reminds me of. So we'll see. I mean, I think Romeo maybe might have been a little more athletic. This kid, Pruitt is a little bit more of a linebacker, but he's good. Appreciate the donut, Mohammed.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, brother. Thank you. I mean, where do you start him though? Do you start him as striker? Do you start him at outside linebacker? He's very fluid.
I think what we're gonna see is a more polished and multiple defense. So I think less focus, maybe like obviously who starts matters, but I think we're gonna see more role definition and more rotation. That's healthier than last year, where it was, didn't matter the situation. You kind of knew who was on the field. I think we're going to see a little bit more intentionality. Pruitt's really good in coverage, for example, as you mentioned, can play more of the striker. So I think in pass situations, we'll see him play a lot. Last year, we didn't really do that rotating for some reason, other than to, I don't know, put Mesidor out in coverage. So that was our adjustment. So, I think we're going to see, with the depth we talked about, a little bit more role definition, a little bit of, situational subbing.
And historically speaking, Minnesota defenses are very good in coverage, and they were good in coverage under Heatherman. So I'm wondering if Pruitt can kind of carve out a role there in terms of just being able to get out to the ball.
That might be it. So they might just put him as like a rover and just follow the ball. I'll follow the ball around for sure. That's what we got there, man. Yeah, it was a busy week. I think looking at it, I mean, I know we've got a lot of other positions to cover today, but just keep an eye on that wide receiver battle. I think I think it's no surprise there, right? This is not only from practice, but what I like what I'm seeing, Blue, and I know you've been to some of the practices, you've spoken to some of these kids also, but what I like that I'm seeing is the leadership that's coming from that room. You got a kid like CJ Daniels, who's been in a couple programs. He's obviously was a 1,000-yard receiver at Liberty. Went to LSU with the same opportunity, hurt his foot a little bit, but still, caught over 500 yards worth of passes there at LSU. Has that foot surgery and comes to Miami, and I think that he has an opportunity to be the leader of the wide receiver group. Maybe not the best guy, but the leader of the group, and that says a lot. His leadership, you just see it. A lot of people are following him around and kind of asking him a lot of questions. You got obviously maybe the most talented guy in JoJo Trader there, but then you've got kids like
Josh Moore is really stepped it up a little bit.
Right now, Josh Moore looks really good. Chance Robinson, I don't care what anybody says. You throw a slant to Chance Robinson, nobody's gonna catch it except him. He's a big body kid. He looks strong. He looks like he's put on some really good weight still has some quickness. Dalen Upshaw is a route running machine. I love what I've seen out of him as well. Won't get into many details about.
Well, we might as well just listen.
Yeah, why don't you just talk about it? Since
Might as well. I mean, you know what? I know I got into it prematurely, but it's hard not to because of.
Yeah, let's go ahead and cover that. And we're going to do that, and we'll just do that as a transition to then we'll do running backs and tight ends after. Let's go for it.
Perfect.
That whole show prep's getting turned around here.
Hey, man, I'm flexible.
Thank you.
We have moved it all over the place today, so might as well let's lead in.
We can only prep so much.
Did you guys talk about Dobson already? Reclassifying?
Blue did talk about Dobson. Yeah, I saw him.
Yep.
I did talk about him. I saw him.
Oh, good.
Yeah, no, we hit the recruiting part. That's good.
Yeah,
But
we already got to the
about
recruiting part.
Talking positions, so
You guys know what you're talking about, right, Blue, when it comes to recruiting.
you're talking wide receivers. Let's just do it.
Let's do it. Yeah, I think the consensus right now, Blue, is if you talk to most people, the consensus is the fans consider this to be the starting lineup of C.J. Daniels, JoJo Trader, and Ray Joseph as your starters, right? Ray being the inside guy. The biggest battle is for that inside position right now. Malachi Tony, look, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here, but I'm also gonna play both sides. I'll play one shoulder, the other. One shoulder tells me Malachi Tony is probably the most talented inside guy that we have on this team, just based off of pure ability, right? You just see it. It just pops. The other side tells me he's never played a down in football in college yet, and so we need to kind of take everything that he's doing with a grain of salt and understand that people are not getting hit. He's seen very vanilla type defenses, right? They're not gonna do a lot of crazy shit in practice, especially in front of fans or in front of media or anything like that. So with that being said, Ray has a good day. Ray's going to have the upper hand, right? I think he's still very talented. But if it's not a competition, it's going to be split time between him and Malachi Tony. I just really feel like that's going to be it. But a lot of people are focusing on that. To me, I'm focusing on the outside because there's a lot of talent on the outside, folks. I think, and again, maybe I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, and that's okay because it tastes great. But I'm drinking right now. I'm drinking the Chance Robinson and Dalen Upshaw Kool-Aid. A lot of people might not be. I think they are flying under the radar, which is probably the best thing. And I just feel like right now it looks like those three. Streeter reported on Kane's Insight that Daniels, JoJo, Ray top three with Upshaw fourth. It's not a bad list, Blue. Just based off of what a lot of people are seeing and talking about, it's not a bad list. It's not without the realm of possibility that could be it. Chance Robinson is making a name for himself. Josh Moore has the size, has the intangibles and everything, but I just think he needs to understand coverages. He needs to understand where he needs to be on the field sometimes when he's running his routes, right? It's all part of development, and he's getting there. And as you mentioned, Blue, like he looks good. He's catching the football. He's got some yak. He's so big. He's the biggest wide receiver on the team.
6'4.5", man.
Yeah, he's the biggest guy. He definitely is.
Job.
He's very talented out there. But you got so many. You have to distribute that football so many ways. You got Elijah Lofton who can spread out and play wide receiver. You've got Brock Schott. Believe it or not, he's still at the side. Him and Lofton are very similar in size. If you look at them in person, Schott is not 6'5", 6'6" like a lot of people think he is. He's about 6'3", and he's about 220. He's not very big right now. He still needs to put on a lot of weight if he wants to be a big time tight end. So I would say those guys, you can use them to spread them out right now because they're still athletic enough, especially Lofton. He's their Swiss Army guy. He can play wide receiver. So it's a big opportunity for us to get that guy spread around. Tony Robinson is another kid that I think is going to be battling for that inside slot. However, he's got the tape on the outside as well. So I think he came in a little bit later, Blue. So he's still catching up. He's still learning some of the nuances, but
he's skilled though, very skilled.
Very skilled. He probably has. Put it this way: He probably has the best tape out of any wide receiver on our team. I mean, he's got the
he's got more experience playing than anybody.
100%. Did I say Robinson? Tony Johnson. You're right. My bad, Mo. Tony Robinson. Tony Johnson. Yes, Tony Johnson, the kid out of Cincinnati. He's got the most tape. He's got the most experience. And he's flashes really good. Really, really good stuff.
Yeah.
So Tony Johnson is a kid that watch out for him and his opportunity to get some playing time. I think Keelan right now.
He's like the key Messidor of the offense because they both have played just an enormous amount of football. Yeah, both.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And
Knight Carr too is a kid that I think that I don't know if he got behind, but boy, he first time I saw him, I thought he jets away from people.
No, listen, he's flashing in practice right now too. He changes.
That's a good thing that we're bringing up 11 guys.
He's number 12 now instead of 19.
Also, this is why I asked the question this way because we just read every wide receiver on the roster and said they're flashing and they're contributing. So who's actually going to play and how deep is this room actually? Because I think we just listed 15 guys and they're not all going to play.
How about this? I'm going to give you my 2 deep.
Okay,
and then we'll kind of move on because we can be here all day, right? Talking about these guys. You're right. So my 2 deep is right now. My 2 deep. I'm gonna throw some curveballs in there, but I'm gonna say that my 2 deep is C.J. Daniels, JoJo Trader, and my slot guy is Malachi Tony for me right now. That's my 3 guys. Okay, and then my 3 guys behind them are gonna be Ray, Dalen Upshaw, and and the reason why I don't put Tony Johnson in there just yet, did you guys lose me there?
You froze. Back.
So I don't know if you heard me, but I said Ray, Dalen Upshaw, and Chance Robinson. The reason I don't put Tony Johnson in there yet because he got in a little bit late, but I do expect him to be in that 2 deep as well. But that says a lot because now you still got behind him, you still got Tony Johnson and Keelan Marion and Josh Moore and some other guys, right? So. To me, those are my top 6. Just explosivity, and understanding the playbook and what I've seen with my own eyes and what I've heard other people talk about. Those are my 6 guys.
And Keelan Marion's going to see a lot of playing. He'll be the kick returner, and most likely, if Ray don't advance the ball, he'll be a punt returner. So he's going to get a lot of touches.
I think Keontae Scott might be the punt returner, maybe because of his speed.
We're doing specialists next week.
Yeah. So
okay, we're just giving you a preview.
Keelan Marion is an All-American special teamer, right? So
he's a beast.
If he is who he is, oh man, we're gonna be special on special teams. So I'm sorry, we're getting ahead there. Go ahead, my bad.
Now, go DJ. What is your thoughts on what Jazz just laid out, and what's your rotation?
I agree for the most part. I have JoJo, CJ, and then I like Johnson's experience, but. I think Ray.
There's no wrong answer, DJ. By the way, in that slot position, there really isn't. There's talent.
No. And so I'm gonna pick Ray, but I think it could be very easily interchangeable, and that's not a knock on any of the guys at the slot position. That slot position is deep. So those are my 3, and as far as 2 deep, then you go Marion behind JoJo. You go. Probably Josh Moore behind CJ, and then Johnson behind Ray.
Yeah, I have similar. I think Johnson, at least at the beginning of the year, is gonna start if someone else kind of steps up and starts taking, some of those snaps away. But I think the experience. This is a talented but very green wide receiver room, and Johnson's played a lot, and I think they're going to lean on that, certainly against Notre Dame to start the year.
True.
If someone starts showing, then you get Bethune, so that's an opportunity for a lot of guys to play, get their feet wet. It's a big ask to take guys that have not played a lot, and say line up against the number 5 team in the country on the opener and try to make plays when you have someone with that much experience. Which Johnson does have, so
it's a good problem to have, though. We haven't always had these problems before. It's a good problem.
Yeah, no, it's a good problem to have this kind of depth, and I think by the I think by the middle of the season, we'll probably have a different rotation than we might start it with. Just I think the beginning of the year, especially, there's no, there's something to be said for having that warm up game where you can just work some things out. They don't have that, so
No.
last year, fortunately, they were able to do that against UF, but I think they're playing a better program this time to start the year off. So they're gonna have to work probably lean a little bit more on some of the veterans that they do have before. But we'll see. There might be there are I would say similar. I know we were talking a little bit about linebackers earlier and specialty packages. We mentioned Marion, and then also Malachi Tony. I think these are guys that maybe aren't, directly like, oh, we're going to start them or play them, in a more of a traditional position, but that we'd likely have packages for to get the ball in their hands. And so I think they're going to play some as well. Just not sure exactly where I put them in the depth chart, but I think you got to get the ball in their hands so they can make plays. So they'll figure out a way to do that. Juan Manuel has some recruiting-ish questions about I don't know if before we start talking running backs, if anyone else has anything on receivers, then we can maybe answer some of this, then pivot to running backs. All right, real quick, Blue. This is definitely directed at you, even though I don't think he was asking a color. So, but
Frederick
so how important is it to? Basically, the question is how important is it to hit on your 3-star evaluations, and not just everyone wants to load up on the 5 stars at the top of the recruiting classes, but how important?
Yeah, it's always good to hit on a lot of these guys who are below the radar, because last year, not a lot of people were on Dante Simpson. Everybody was on Dylan Day. OJ Frederick, really out of Deerfield, really didn't have any. He was just an average role player at St. Thomas. He just was very athletic. Yeah, you gotta be able to hit on a few of these guys. And Miami's got a lot of questionable 3-4 type stars that people don't. I'm not a big star guy, so I don't know. Now, to answer your question, I think that and it's not just Miami; it's everybody. You got to be able to identify, and pick, and come through on an OJ Frederick, who really wasn't regarded as a high star guy, but yet he started on opening day last year. So, but that was it. I don't.
Well, I think people fail to realize that most of your everyday starters are your 3-star guys, some 4-star guys, and you'll get 1 or 2 5 stars that obviously are who they are. But 3-star guys are who you have to develop for the long run. They're the ones that are going to stick around and build the chemistry around them and build a team around them a lot of the times. And sometimes they turn out to be really, really good football players. You don't need them to be first-round picks. What you need is for them to, be able to really play really good football at this level. Forget about the NFL. That's what they do.
Yeah, no, it's like a house, right? You got your foundation.
Yep.
And then you don't sell the house because you laid the foundation well. But if you don't have the foundation well, the house is going to collapse. So
right.
That's where your 3- and 4-star guys come in.
A lot of 3-star guys are guys that a lot of people never watched.
Yeah,
so you don't really know. It's just sort of like I said, like the rivals and the On 3 and those such, they'll never find the under radar kid. Never, not even one, because they don't look at those kids. They look at everybody that are deemed 5 and 4 stars that are invited to every event that they host, whether it be IMG or so. So if you have a OJ Frederick, they would have never discovered him. Never. Not even a question. And I told that to Andrew Ivins, and I says, you guys could profess that you know everything, but you're not everywhere. And you don't go to those events that you're going to find under the radar type of talent. And if Dante Simpson was playing at South Miami, you would have really never known, but everybody got a chance to see Cooper, who's another guy.
Right?
I just, only because you never get any play, so what the hell. I had to give the Cobras a little love.
Yeah.
But But anyway, so getting back to what we were talking about, I
Well,
would.
Mr. Wiley's got a running back opinion, so good transition.
Okay.
Did you give us who you thought your starters were going to be?
No, I didn't, but that's okay.
Oh, go for it. Go for it.
Go for it. Yeah.
I thought Josiah Trader and C.J. Daniels would be probably the XZ. I think that Ray Joseph's going to give the opportunity. Well, I'm not given, but I think he's going to earn the opportunity to get in that slot position. I think the world of Keelan Marion. I've watched enough tape on that kid over the he gets open. He's impossible to bring down an open field. So I think he comes in at the second, I believe, the X position. Joshua Moore. I think Joshua Moore is going to be. I think he's going to be a star. I think next year at this time, he's going to be one of those guys that are nationally type of 6'4", 226 pounds. The kid runs in the 4.6 range, 4.7 range. And then I think that I think personally Tony Johnson will get the call before Malachi Toney, only because of the fact that he's had a lot of experience. And I think that's where Miami's looking for now, is to get guys in there with experience. As you said, Jazz, they play Bethune game too. So those guys will all get their opportunity to get their feet wet. But that's it. That's right. Kellen Wiley, you're right. He had no and I watched Armwood many times, and I was wondering why that he didn't. But you're right. And there's a couple of guys on that Armwood team now that are getting overlooked as well. But you're 100% right. That's why I don't believe in stars, because a lot of these people don't know what they're looking at. So, yeah, I 100% agree with you.
It's crazy to pass up a kid that looks the part.
But you know what, Jazz? If you don't watch them,
right?
So
you don't know. Yeah, I agree. By the way, we're very happy to have Kellen Wiley on our team.
And his dad.
And his dad, of course. The as Cam Cameron likes to say, the family.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the only Cam Cameron reference I will ever use for the rest of my life, and that was it. I used it once. What else we got, Vish? What are we moving to?
We got running backs and we got tight ends. So Mr. Wiley, we'll go with running backs next because Mr. Wiley was talking.
We'll see the best for last, right, DJ?
Yeah. Once Pringle.
We're waiting all night for this. Forget about everything else. Just give me the tight ends. Tight end position.
Yeah, DJ's not gonna talk until we get the tight ends, right? Oh man, you can start. DJ, how about you start on running backs? Give us what do you think?
Fletcher, Lyle, and Brown. I seriously think that Shamar Brown might make a push for that second running back spot.
Listen, Shamar Brown is the best looking RB3 in the country. Okay.
Yeah.
That kid is a juggernaut. He is
like Martinez was last year.
Man, but he's even more jacked up. Like, he's jacked. He's jacked. This kid.
You think it's a crazy thing to say that Shamar Brown could push for that second running back spot or end up as RB2 by the time all is said and done?
I don't think it's crazy. I think that
because I like Lyle too.
I've said
this. Fletcher's had a tough time staying healthy. So there you go.
And I've said this ad nauseum, and Vish knows this. I've said it from the minute that he got stepped foot on campus. Jordan Lyle is the best running back on this team, right? Like that. I've said that. That's how I feel. I still think he's RB1. I think Fletcher right now, if he's healthy, he's going to be your starter, experience-wise, especially in a big game like Notre Dame. I think he can come in and do some really good things. But I think the most explosive guy, the best guy on this team is Jordan Lyle. I think Shamar Brown is great. I think especially in like short yardage situations, you're going to see a lot of. I think they call him Marty Brown. Like I heard some people saying call him Marty.
Yeah,
Brown.
they do.
Shamar Brown, I think, is going to be very, very integral part of this offense. But I wouldn't put it past Blue. I would not put it past Hellcat to put his name in the hat because the kid's gained some really, really good.
Yeah.
He looks really good. Gerard Pringle is tiny right now. He's going to be good, but Gerard Pringle's tiny right now. You got to give him another year before he sees the field. Your top four running backs are those guys. For me, RB1 is Jordan Lyle and then Fletcher. but they're interchangeable. Those three guys are the top three guys are very interchangeable. But for me, Jordan Lyles RB1.
Yeah. Well, Lyle's got that breakaway speed too there, Mr. Wiley. He could get it into a gear as well. I love Pringle. I think he's going to be the future.
Yeah, I agree.
I think next year we're talking about him being 2 or 3. It depends where people go or people, you don't know. Who knows anymore?
Yeah.
But no, I agree. I think across the board, it's not when you come to that and you come to tight ends, it's not rocket science. You know the guys who are in the pecking order pretty much.
Yeah, and just on Brown, I don't think he comes here if he's not going to get an opportunity to play quite a bit. So
yeah, it was the FCS Player of the Year. So
I think maybe this is wishful thinking. I think we're going to be a little bit more committed to just sticking with the run this year than we were last year.
No, I think so. I agree with you.
I'm on that boat with you, Vish. I mean,
think there'll be more. I think there'll be more carries to be had. So I think we do need 3 running backs to rotate in. And as Blue said, injuries happen at that position, period. So,
so let's go wishbone, and then all of them can play.
You do it all at once. Yeah. We're going to talk tight ends in a second. Elijah Lofton in the wishbone is an intriguing prospect. I'll tell you that much.
That's another one that you got to watch out for a running back. He's going to get his carries. He's going to get his carries at running back too. Watch. Goal line.
I would just much rather him catch the damn ball. And
he's going to do it all, Blue. He's going to do everything on that team.
He's going to throw to himself and catch it.
He's deemed himself the backup quarterback right now. So let's see.
He can probably do that too. He's unbelievable. Can you imagine what backup quarterbacks would be? It'd be like Carson Beck, number 1, and then you have Malachi Toney as their backup guy, and then Elijah Lofton. Would you feel bad about that? I mean,
hey,
Tony took over for Diabell.
You're 2 and 3 guys who won state titles, so that's
right. I mean, come on now.
Actually, you're 1, 2, and 3 guys have all won state titles.
In all honesty, I mean, it's hard to go wrong there. You're right, Fish. Believe it or not, people don't realize this, but Shannon Brown ran the ball 54% of the time last year. His split was 46-54.
It did not feel like it.
Did not feel like it.
Well, it's because it's misleading because when you play Little Sisters of the Poor, your run pass split is like 70.
Fair enough, but I can see that number being 60% this year. Can you, Vish? 60% run?
Well, I think there's not going to be the need to force the pass when the run is working like there was last year. Because again, you had literally the best player in the country, and ended up being the first pick in the NFL draft.
Yeah.
So, any coordinator will, in the back of their head, even as the run game is working, we got to throw more. The last thing you want to do is lose and then look at the stat sheet and be like, we threw 15 times and ran at 50 and lost, and I have Cam Ward sitting there. But I don't think there's going to be any issues with that this year. I also think the offensive line's healthier than it was last year. It was banged up a bit, so it wasn't. I think we'll have a better running game, which will make it easier to stick with it. Because even I've obviously complained quite a bit, especially Georgia Tech, Syracuse. I feel like we'd run the ball more. We would have seen those games out as wins. With that said, it wasn't like we were getting 30 yards a carry, just ripping runs off, and then let me force this pass. It was more you had to stick with it. It was 4 or 5 yards and just grind it out, which is harder to be patient with. Again, you have Cam Ward under center. I think this year we're going to see a little bit more effective running games because I think the offensive line looks a lot healthier and more depth in there. I think people forget how injured we were last year in camp and then through the beginning of the season where we didn't really get that like Rodriguez didn't even play last year. I mean, he was supposed to be, if not starting right there, he didn't play. So I think, we can take another level in the running game, which will make it much easier to do to stick with that.
By the way, Juan, I don't doubt it, man. I don't doubt it. He could be a running back. Would it be interesting to you, God? I don't know if exciting is the right word, but would it be interesting to see a lot of running plays offset under center? Would you be surprised to see that? Because we didn't do a lot of that last year, right? If you think about it, we didn't do a lot of running under center. But would you be interested or excited to see or surprised to see that Miami will implement a lot of I back, the kind of that scat back, that not necessarily fullback, but just like an I back, just single back, running under center. Would you guys be surprised if they ran that? Anybody can answer
A
that.
lot, yes. It would be if it was like a staple. I think in short yardage, they've shown a willingness to go with
Packages,
that.
little packages.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but to your point, Jazz, you kind of gave it away a little bit there. We don't have a fullback, so
Lofton
if you're gonna run that, you do need a lead blocker because you're compressing the field. You're bringing people into the box. You need the lead blocker.
It'd be Lofton or what's his name, Joe Nickel, one of those big tight ends that would probably run that if they had to. Yeah, we don't have necessarily a fullback, so I don't know if they'll run an I set with a fullback, but I think it'd be interesting to see if they do that, and I think that they have the personnel to do it, but it's just not very common. So, but maybe they do it, maybe they don't. I don't know. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised because of that because he's a great play action quarterback. Okay.
Yeah, but they do that out of the shotgun now. This isn't.
They do. You're right.
It's different.
I mean, maybe the game's changing a little bit, and Dawson will bring that element. Although he's not known for doing that, but he could very well. But
I mean, there is something to be said, and some teams in the NFL have started doing this with everyone in the NFL too. Both majority shotgun, 3 wide receivers in the field. Teams don't necessarily have 3 linebackers to comfortable play, and if you go there now, put a fullback in there, and lining up with a 4-3 is hard for a lot of teams now. When it used to be like your base formation, so we don't really play it that way. It's hard for them to match up. So personnel wise, it does catch people a little bit having to try and match up with what used to be this base offense against base defense. No, like we're not. And we previewed our defense. None of us thought 3 linebackers on the field. We didn't even mention that really. I mean, we had our 2 starting linebackers and our 3 corners and our 2 safeties. Like that used to be a third down passing situation formation, and now it's
like every day. It's every day.
Yeah, now it's base, and so if you can force teams out of their comfort zone, it's never a bad thing. So
I'll tell you one thing that the quarterback does like to do, and it's throw to those tight ends. Carson Beck does like to throw to his tight ends. Now, I don't know if there's a Brock Bowers on this team, folks, but Elijah Lofton and Luke Bauman are probably your top 2 tight ends on this team right now. But the tight end position is really good. Really, really good. I have to say that I was very, very, very impressed to see what these guys are doing, number one. Number two, how big they are. Larry Bluestein. We got some big mammoths at linebacker, at tight end, man. Obviously, Elijah Lofton and Brock Shaw being the smallest guys, but only small by stature, right? I think Elijah Lofton is maybe 6'2", maybe. Brock Shaw's maybe 6'3" or so. But Lofton is all of 250. Shaw is a little skinnier, a little thinner, but you can see he's very explosive, very shifty. He can play wide out right now if you ask him to. That's how he's still got to put on some muscle. But man, the big boys like Bauman and Luke Nickel and Luka Gilbert, those kids are going to be really impressive down the road. Bauman obviously he's the elder statesman there, him and Nickel. So I can see them playing a lot of big sets with guys like Nickel and Bauman on the field, and Elijah Lofton spread out. I can see that a lot. I can see running plays where you have all 3 of those guys in, and they're doing some big packages in the goal line or in the red zone. I mean, there's a lot of opportunities. This is a really talented tight end group right now. It'd be hard pressed to not see 2 of them on the field at all times. Whether that's a combination of Lofton and Bauman and Nickel, Bauman and Gilbert, and I keep adding Gilbert. I know he's a freshman, but right now I think he's ahead of Shot because of his skill set, how big he is already. He's all of 6'6", 6'7". He's a big dude, man. He's like 250, 260 already. So I could see him coming in and getting some playing time. I think the other guys need to develop a little bit, but I like Bauman and Lofton as my tight end 1 and 2, and then he kind of interchange the other guys there. So it's just fun to watch. Yes, that is true. I know he broke the record for squatting. I think it was like 560 pounds or something crazy like that. So he is a strong kid. And like I mentioned, he's an explosive kid at that position. So can you see him in some of those packages where you kind of want to put them on tight ends, put them on linebackers? They can beat linebackers one-on-one. Yes, that would be great. Him and Lofton or something like that. And Bauman's a big kid, man. 6'5", 250, 260. Another big kid that takes up a lot of space. So tight end position, I think, is exciting to watch because Beck does like to throw to them. And if you can get them in some space, and one thing that Coach Dawson is going to do is he's going to scheme players open. And if Beck can find these guys, especially these tight ends, I think it's going to be – this offense is actually be really fun to watch because you're going to have them involved a lot. And I know that we all love to see the tight ends get involved in this game, especially DJ. Talk to me about those tight ends, baby.
Absolutely. This is my favorite part of the show right here. But no, as far as my top three, Lofton, Bauman, and then Nickel, and like you said, I think Bauman and Nickel can be interchangeable. There's a lot of different ways that you can go with this tight end room, but I mean, they all have the potential to be weapons. I mean, we've talked about Lofton ad nauseum on this show and how dynamic, how versatile he is. And, you know, Bauman brings that experience at 7 touchdowns last season. Didn't have a ton of yards, but, you know, found his way to pay dirt. So that's half the battle for a tight end right there. And, you know, Nickel brings the experience to the room along with Bauman. So this is a well-rounded tight end room in all facets. And I am really excited to watch this room play. And like you said, Jazz, Beck threw a lot to the tight ends at Georgia. And I think when you have a quarterback like Beck, who's definitely a little bit less mobile than Cam Ward, having that tight end as that security blanket and that, you know, kind of safety valve is extremely important. And I think this room is built for Beck.
I agree. Yeah, I think he will get the ball to his running backs as well, Kellen. I know you brought up a good point.
Yep, absolutely.
I do agree with that also. Blue, what are your thoughts on the tight end?
Yeah, well, first of all, you take a look at Lofton. He's an H-back is what he is. So he's not the true course. And that's, again, what Juan Manuel V said here is, he would be used in that situation where they slot him, put him in motion. He'll draw a linebacker with him. Linebacker ain't going to stay with him. And then he'll shoot upfield and get a safety, and he'll be wide open. And but as far as he's more of an offensive H-back type of guy. He's not going to stand in and block, and I wouldn't want him to stand in and block. You know, you don't need him to do that. He's way too bad. That's why you got big bodies. That's why you got a guy who could squat the earth. Let him block. I mean, he's the guy that has the, let him stay in and block. If you go into your 2 tight end set, like you mentioned before, Jazz, use, your Bauman's a big boy too. Yeah, he catches the ball, but he's pretty agile on the offensive line. It reminds me of like in the NFL, what they do is they'll draft a receiving tight end and a blocking tight end. And if you remember when Eric Winston got to Miami, he was a blocking tight end. And everybody said, oh, man, for a tight end. Well, actually, Don Bailey even said that the first time. He said, for a tight end, you're going to make a hell of an offensive tackle. And that's what happens. You get guys who are more built to play that tight end who are actually an extra offensive lineman. While they do have some skills and they have hands to catch the ball and they can get off the line, more times than not, you're going to use them in a 2 tight end package as the guy who's going to stay in and block, especially with somebody as adept as Elijah Lofton.
That's what made Cam McCormick so good, so good for us, so integral.
I'm glad you mentioned him, Jeff. I don't think it's dissimilar from last year when, the playmaking we expected from Elijah Arroyo and the blocking was more McCormick as I guess a traditional blocking tight end. So we did similar rotations in there where McCormick, as exactly what Blue described, can catch the ball, will catch the ball when he's open, but you're not necessarily expected to you not really using him as a receiving weapon and more of a receiving option. And the weapon was Arroyo, and I think the weapon is Lofton. And then
But how many times have you been
take advantage of space created by the other players? So
Vish, how many times have you watched games and a tight end will catch and that's his first catch and we're in game 8? You know, like see, that's what happens because you're used as a decoy so long that they go, that number 85, he's just going to take
feed him the ball, give him the ball more.
Yeah, right.
I mean, we thought that was going to be recorded last year. Then, like the first drive of the season, he caught a touchdown. Never mind, they're going to throw to him.
Yeah,
I was going to say, it depends on what league you watch, too, because the Big Ten, they feed the tight ends like.
I mean, the Big Ten doesn't believe in receivers other than Ohio State. Everyone's a tight end out there. So.
Except Iowa. Iowa will throw to their tight ends 200 times a year, so.
Yeah.
Interesting side note, Cam McCormick is now a scout for the Patriots. I was reading about him today. I'm like, that name sounds familiar. Oh, Cam McCormick, hey.
Yep, he is.
Now, when he tells everybody he's 32, he says he's got a regular job. So, what the hell? He ain't a ninth-year college guy anymore.
I think Cam McCormick got his ARP card.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Shout out to Cam McCormick. We love the kid.
Right? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he's an example of a successful.
But I think this year, I think Elijah Lofton becomes a nightmare for defensive coordinators. Because where are you scheming for that guy? All of a sudden you think, okay, well, he's going to light up as a true tight end. Then he goes in motion and it becomes a slot. And you go, oh, okay, well, we didn't figure this. Or then he gets into the position where he's a tight end and he comes in and Beck goes in motion and he becomes a wildcat running back. So, the guy's going to be a nightmare. And every trick play they do this year will be off of him.
I can see that.
I would think.
I can see that. You know what I can see also, and I just going back to the wide receiver really quick, is guys that are really speedy and really fast and shifty. Guys like Marion, Tony Johnson. I think jet sweeps are going to be huge for Miami.
Yeah,
I think we'll see some jet sweeps, some counters where they're just going to go opposite of what he is.
Not just Ray. But as you were talking about versatility, what about a receiver in a jet package that could throw the ball like Malachi Tony?
Yeah. I mean, that's not out of their own possibility at all.
No, I think Dawson is going to scheme up some really interesting stuff. You may not see a lot of that crazy shit at the beginning with
but you'll see it against Bethune-Cookman.
Oh, I mean, Bethune-Cookman. you might see it against some ACC. Some ACC.
USF.
27 more days. I can't wait.
Oh my god. A
lot of good opening games too. Not a lot of. There's some cupcakes, but a lot of good opening games too.
See what Papa Wiley says there. I think we'll be a team that stays ahead of the chains, which means the tight ends and backs are going to play a huge role in the passing game, 3 to 4 games. And we'll open it up all the way. Yeah. Well, it's going to open it up. That's exactly what it's going to do. And we know that Beck can sling it. We've seen him do it before. We've seen him throw the ball down the field, and he's very effective with that. I've mentioned it before. He is the most efficient when he has protection. He is the most efficient quarterback completion rate percentage down the field in the entire country when he has protection. When he has a good offensive line, I don't see why that would change now. He still has the talent around him to do it.
And all the running backs in the passing game that we mentioned tonight, they're very effective receiving backs, so that helps too.
Yeah. Vish, you want to say something?
Yeah, just now echoing what you said. Yeah, I think Beck is a good steward of the offense, and I think to win games, you get in difficult situations, it's so much easier to be able to lean on a running game and hand the ball off versus trying to execute passing plays. So when your offensive line leans on people, it makes it very easy to win games because you wear them down, wear them out. And, that is Mario's style. And this team is set up to do that with we talked about the deep running back pool, the deep tight end pool. The offensive line we talked about last week is the best in the country.
Jazz is on mute. Take yourself off mute, Jazz.
Well, I went and exited stage there, so I was not good clock management by myself there. But I am back. Anyway, we're gonna run the ball, and hopefully, that'll work.
We're not talking offensive line today, are we?
No, we did last week.
Oh, that's right, we did. You're right.
Yeah, and so when you combine that with the running back room, the tight end room, A lot of big guys. We talked about, shots. We have a lot of big guys. This team is set up to pound on people, and I don't think that Mario and Maribel are not too to shy away from the opportunity to shove the football down your face. People forget, obviously, for good reason, that the infamous didn't kneel the ball game. Got the ball with like 9 minutes left and ran it down their ass and took the whole clock out and just had to kneel it. And didn't kneel the ball, and so erased all of that good work. But that was that's how you close a football game out, right? You're not going to get the ball back. We're going to run this clock out with more than half the quarter left. Like that went from a huge success story to a failure because they didn't kneel it in the end. But the running part of it, just handed the ball off on every play and took it all the way down the field. That's how they want to play football, and this team is set up to do it. So yeah, I think this is going to be a run heavy power team that's going to physically impose their will.
Good enough for me, man. As long as we win ball games, and that's it. That's all. It doesn't matter. You know what? It takes pressure off the defense also, because you can run the clock, give them a time to really get their to get their things in order and rest. And I'm excited to see what happens. I think August 31st can't come quick enough, so we're very excited. 27 days, as you mentioned, DJ. But who's counting?
I know, right? Who's counting?
Yeah. Did we mention the days in the beginning of the show, Bish?
We did. It's in the show notes now. Everything is taken care of.
I know. Just since I
I'm tracking it. It took you like 4 times asking me, but eventually I started tracking it.
That's what he says. Yeah. That's awesome.
Persistence pays off, Jess.
Yes, it definitely does. If we figured it out. Alex will be in every red zone situation. Oh, we're talking about tight ends on the chat.
Well, what about Blue? Blue, you got something for us?
Blue,
yes,
talk to us.
I got a flashback to a pretty good game. 1986, November 1st, Miami goes to 8-0 with a 41-23 win against Florida State.
Nice.
Pretty neat right there. Miami was loaded. It was a Vinny Testaverde versus Danny McManus. But Miami, I told you, was loaded up with big-time guys. This was the 86 season there, Vish. You know that they were very successful. Loaded with talent up and down. I just saw Victor Floyd from Florida. He's coaching high school now. Nice. But listen to this lineup on offense for Miami. You got Brett Perryman at one wide receiver. Then the other wide receiver is Michael Irvin. You had halfback at Warren Williams, who just celebrated his 62nd birthday.
Hey, happy birthday.
Alonzo Highsmith at the fullback position.
We've heard of some of these guys.
Alfredo Roberts at tight end, former South Plantation. Vinny Testaverde at quarterback, and an offensive line. Scott Proven, Greg Riccozzi. Big. He reminds me of like any big center at 6'5". Wow. Scott Proven, David Alekna, and Maurice Maddox. That was it. I mean, and their defense was pretty stout. You had Hawkins, who was one of the best. The late, great Jerome Brown. Dan Cilio. Wow. Dan Stubbs. Winston Moss, George Myra Jr., and Rod Carter at the linebackers. Tolbert Bain, Benny Blades, Darrell Fullington, and Bubba McDowell. Let me tell you something. You put that damn thing together in this day and age, and they're winning the national title.
Yeah, I just unfortunate that was the one that that Fiesta Bowl kind of erased.
Yeah.
What was actually, if you look,
but that was a loaded team.
Yeah, no, that was the best team in school history, except they didn't.
Yeah, that's
and so it kind of gets.
I know.
It's remembered for the Fiesta Bowl instead of like if that team had just finished the deal in that game, we would be.
That would have been it.
I know he's a nut, but give me a psychopath like Dan Cilio on my team all day.
He's a player, man. I'll tell you what. He might be off the chains, but I'll tell you what. The man was one of the strongest players Miami ever had. And
and that team, the remnants of it won the championship the next year.
Yeah, they did.
That one just had that Fiesta Bowl. Vinny played injured, shouldn't have done that, and it kind of threw a bunch of exceptions in it.
I got 30 days to get all my Notre Dame Miami games together, so I'm.
You got 27. So
27 days.
Actually, less than that because that's the game day. It's the Monday before, so you got.
It's a month from yesterday, isn't it?
It is
28 days.
No, it's 27 days until
Right.
Notre Dame.
Yesterday was 28 days.
Yeah, it's 27 days, but the show's the Monday before that, so you're running out of time, Mr. Blue Team. You got 20 days.
Yeah.
21 days.
Vish, we do want to talk about something, and we'll start hinting at it now. Hopefully, fingers crossed. We are trying to put together a nice little tailgate. So for all the fans that want to come out and hang out with us for that Sunday night game against Notre Dame, if you're going to be out there, we definitely want to see you all. We definitely want to hang out with you all. We will try to put something together. We want like Papa Wiley. You got to come out to the tailgate. We'll try to mention where we're going to be. We'll try to drop a pin and everything so that you guys can come out and check us out and hang out with us. But we'll definitely put something together for this Notre Dame game. And I just want to put it out there because it's always fun to see the fans and come out and shoot the breeze with us. So
Yeah. Before we
FaceTime
leave,
you,
let
Jeff.
me
I'll
answer
miss you guys.
Jason's question of where I was. You can put that up.
Yep.
Jason, they had an overflow crowd in the press box, put us in the end zone on the very first row, and where you couldn't even hear yourself think, and was probably one of the most exciting crowds that they've had for a Miami game. But I was right in that first row, and yeah, that was that 3rd and 44 was what the whole game was really, and Notre Dame brought people, man. It was loaded. It was a loaded thing, but that's it. And yeah, those were the times. They really were. I know Miami's going through some hard times now, and then they kind of like rebounded in the early 2000s. But yeah, consistently every home game, even the Miami of Ohio's and games that they played back then still had 50, 60,000 fans. And then when they played against Florida State or they played against Oklahoma, yeah.
Oh yeah,
All right.
We'll let you know so you can come through.
Yeah, Mr. Kellen Wiley will be there. He's going to be bringing some one of those BYOB things. He'll be through.
And his son will be bringing the wood on the field. So.
Oh yeah. I look forward to him.
Notre Dame has not won in Miami since the 70s, and that's
let's keep it that way.
We had Brock Schott's grandfather on. We're going to try to get him down.
Yeah, we got to get him over to the tailgate also. Yeah. We'll have some Don Julio or something waiting for everyone.
Got to keep Hellcat's dad away from the.
Appreciate everybody coming on, man. Thank you so much. We've got, as I mentioned, 27 days until kickoff. Super excited. Everything is starting to. Everything's
so coming up.
Crazy.
So next week is we're gonna finish the position QBs and specialists, and then the week after that, everyone mark your calendars. August 18th is when I predict this to go undefeated, and Blue and DJ make fun of me. Except this year,
Blue, you have a meeting before August 18th.
Yeah, me and DJ are going to be at Cheers in Boston the night before.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Actually, I'm going to see DJ in Boston the night before that. So
actually, you are. You're right.
I don't want to tell you guys this, but I'm trying to find a way to get there that week also.
Really?
Weekend also. I know it's Miami and Boston play.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I want to try to get in the Red Sox game before the season starts so I can focus on the Canes. So I might head up there also. So I'll let you know.
Okay.
I'll let you know.
I don't know if I'm going to the game, but I'll meet you guys in Boston somewhere.
Yeah,
we'll
talk already, DJ. We'll
the mountain's coming to you, DJ.
I know.
That'll be awesome, man. Anyways, make sure you check us out on Twitter, always at 6 Rings Canes. I'm sorry, X. And also subscribe to our podcast. Follow us on 6 Rings Canes. Subscribe to the 5 Reasons Canes podcast on Spotify, Apple, wherever it is that you get your podcast streams. Check us out on YouTube every Monday at 8:30 p.m. on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Just subscribe there to us and check it out. Check out the 6 Rings Canes show. We'll have some really good content in the next month or so as we get ready for kickoff. And moving forward, I think this is going to be an exciting year, so we're looking forward to that. And, of course, we still have baseball, basketball, and all that stuff to look forward to, as well as teams continue to put some things together. Canes had another baseball commit today for the 2027.
Yeah, that's like 27. Come on.
Yeah, so, we're just more in tune with what's going on now. Not that it matters, it's 2027, but yeah, a lot of things going on. So we'll definitely bring you some of that. Bring your own beer. Yeah, Kelly, if you bring your own beer, that's fine, man. We'll have some beer for you and some
You
shots.
need to show up, man. There's always
Just show up, man. That's all we want. Show up, have a good time, and look, pan con lechon, cubano at the tailgate. Even if it'll be 100 degrees, there's always some of that, man. It doesn't matter how hot or how cold it is. We'll have everything there.
I won't be there, but I'll be drunk in spirit. How about that?
There you go. I can definitely see that. I don't know if I should give the keys to the Twitter account that day. Then I don't know.
You might have some good tweets. Who knows?
Yeah, it's true. This is true. We appreciate you guys coming on. We'll see you guys next Monday. Adios.
The 6 Rig Kane Show. Yeah. The 6 Rig Kane Show. Yeah. The 6 Rings Kane Show. You know.